you were
No
saying
problem.
King's Mountain is your favorite
Yes.
scenario for this.
It's one of my favorite starter scenarios. And back before this game came out, there was a game called Hold the Line Out, which is very similar to Commands and Colors, but it doesn't have cards, and it uses action points.
Okay.
So the layout is very similar to this, and it really does a great job of exemplifying how guerrilla tactics work for the Americans, right? How the Americans kind of dodge into the trees and they shoot at the British, and then they pop behind the trees, and they kind of do all this stuff. So I'm interested because this game, typically I've played more line-based battles where you're in a line facing somebody, and what you're trying to do is break that line and break the cohesion.
Right.
And just like you know about Revolutionary War stuff, the whole idea is to get the other guy to run away. And as soon as one starts running, they all start running. So this game is very well designed for that.
Oh, yeah.
But this scenario is not line-based. It is very much attacking in the middle of the night while the guys are sleeping, and you're creeping up on them, you're hiding in the trees, and all of a sudden you do this salt and pepper attack from all angles.
Cool. Cool. Well, yeah, I did read the retreat and rally rules today, which blew my mind because it is so much more nuanced, I think, than the Ancients, where you could theoretically win a scenario just from a couple of very simple attacks. I guess that would kind of cascade where they fail that rally check and they're off the map and they're off the map and there's a banner and there's a banner, and
Yeah.
it's so cool. I mean, for this system, I think.
So I was trying to figure if there was any special rules that Richard put in this scenario to handle the attack from both sides. So you've got Americans up top,
Right.
or Americans at the bottom.
Oh yeah,
So,
three sides. Yeah, and they're on the kind of over on the left side there too.
yeah, but my point is, like in the Commands and Colors, there's usually a top and a bottom.
Oh, well,
and the side is the left or right. So some are going with terrain in between them, going forward, and retreats would cause them to go backwards. But up top, if you attack somebody and flags rolled against you, you're going to be forced to go back into
right.
same area as the British.
It's the very last one of the special rules there. The Continental units retreat to the nearest baseline. So wherever they are, yeah, they're all just going to go in three possible directions away. Whereas the looks like the British go toward the two camp hexes there in the middle. So they're constantly shrinking back in like
perfect.
That. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Okay. Very cool.
But where do we start? I mean, coming at this from actively playing Ancients right now, and we'll be joined pretty soon by my buddy Peter, who's playing those with me. But this is a great opportunity for me to at least just kind of get a once-over of Tricorne now. A little more technical as far as some of the extra rules, and I like, just from what I've read in the rules about combat, is here's your baseline and then some additions and subtractions of dice, which are really neat based on, you know, whatever modifiers. And obviously the combat cards are going to be a whole new difference for me. So I was trying to wrap my brain around that, but I haven't looked at any of the cards, so I don't know what the potential of those combat special trickery things are. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Like most of the Commands and Colors games, there's the left, the center, and the right, so there's no real change there. You'll notice that the battlefield is a little thinner and not as wide as like Napoleonic's or Memoir 44.
Okay.
And this kind of forces the battle to be in the center of the field. There's not as much flanking in the American Revolutionary War, so this kind of forces you to stay in the fight in the center instead of trying to sweep around the sides and stuff.
Cool.
The movement of the units is very similar to Ancients and some of the other games in the series. And you'll find most of it's the same except for these special tactical cards.
Right.
So we both have a stack of cards that we can put in our hands.
Okay.
And we draw these and play these as part of our hands. And your card, if you play an action card, it will tell you if at the end of the turn you get to draw another tactical card.
Okay. I believe in this scenario we start with some British are surprised, so you're going to get that's right, you're going to, like the Ancients one with Lake Trasimeno, you'll start with 2 and then get 3 and then get 4 up to 5. The combat cards aren't just one use and then you never get another one, or you will always have 4 combat cards for variability?
You do not get another combat card unless the card that you played, the command card that you played, tells you to take another one.
I see. Okay.
Typically, there's an opening cannonade, which the artillery get to fire before the game even starts. Again, if you're in a face-to-face battle with lines of guys facing each other, you're breaking that cohesion right away.
Right.
And then you see that whole flight mechanic kind of go into place.
Right. So it is possible to rout people before the game even begins, I guess, right?
You could if you got a really bad die roll, but typically you're in line. You've got your leaders.
Right.
So when you're playing, it's really good to keep your leaders on the ends because it adds an extra benefit as far as your routing. And then the guys in the middle should stay cohesive with each other. And then you kind of have like a floating leader who's running from spot to spot, trying to keep the troops in order. And it only gives them a +1 to have a leader in there. And the leader gives you extra benefits as far as attacks and things like that.
Sure. And now looking at it a second time, I can see what you're saying. There's no cavalry in this. There's no artillery. This is just a straight up infantry battle, it would seem, with all the variations of light, provincial, militia. So I think this is a good one just to keep it simple with infantry. Peter has arrived.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. We're just looking over commands and colors Tricorne. So if you got your Tricorne hat and you're ready to see how this Revolutionary War stuff, it looks pretty darn neat. I mean, coming from our ancient stuff, this has a lot of neat stuff that adds.
Certainly a lot of terrain here.
Yeah, right. No more flat plains with just people throwing javelins. Charles was just telling us a little bit about the scenario. We're just kind of looking over scenario information there under the quill pen, and he was just giving some basic understanding of how some of the leadership works as far as formations and things like that. So I will let you continue, Charles.
Okay. And so, like, in the actual battlefield, it's on top of a hill and like a flat section. And this is where the British had stopped to camp out for the night, where the Americans attacked. So, as you said before, there are 2 camps, and our job is to retreat towards that camp if we hit a flag, and your job will be to retreat away from the battlefield, which is the mechanic. I was interested in how he's going to do that, but it sounds like it's going to work out really well. All right, so have you drawn your cards yet?
I have not. And 4 combat cards. Okay, let's flip these things over here.
You'll also notice in this scenario that you get an extra victory banner if you take a hill in each section. So there's the left section, the center section, the right section, just like the other games. And if you get a guy on one of those, you will be able to hold a temporary objective. If you leave the hill or leave that area, you'll lose that.
Okay. And, this is a 1st to 6 banners. Okay. All right. And I see that you can get temporary one, or you get permanent victory banners for every scout card that you play. So I presume you've got a number of scout cards in your combat cards that, if you play them,
my deck is full of them.
Oh, great! So you just get a you just get a free point as soon as you play one of those. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, there's really not too many scout cards. Scout cards are fairly limiting in most other games. It's good that we get something out of it on this one.
Okay. Okay, and Peter, are you set to observer?
Yes, I am.
And can you see both decks or both hands?
I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I do see a stack of Continental combat cards and British combat cards.
Okay.
As well as one deck of command cards.
Up in the next to the quill there are the Continental and British hands grayed out to you?
Yep.
Okay. So you don't get to see what's in our hand until we play it.
The only way that we could do that is if we both played solitaire mode.
Okay.
And we should be able to see each other's cards, and he could see them too. But
Yep. Well, this will be fine.
Okay.
It will add to the suspense.
All right.
I can tell you,
We're all about
story.
theatrics. So what should I be thinking about? Obviously, with the scenario information here, it's straightforward. We're trying to get 6 banners, but what would be your recommendation for simple Revolutionary War tactics to just kind of open things up? And since we're only dealing with infantry units here, do I protect some units more than others? I know for example, like in the retreat and rally stuff, that the provincials and the what are the other ones? The militias are very likely to cut and run a lot easier than the others. So obviously protecting them or babying them a little bit is probably in my best interest, I would think. I don't know. What do you think?
So the best way is to get into the woods.
Okay.
There's also, if you find a unit who's kind of a straggler that you can attack from 2 different angles where he can't attack you back. So on the top of the left-hand side there on the line between the left and the center, the regular unit is a 4.
Yes.
If you can find a way to get close enough to do a combined attack on him, like if you can move your provincials up and your militia, and it also depends on what type of card, and do a 2-on-1 attack there. So you order, you move, and you attack that regular there. And he really can't do anything except, take hits.
Right. Okay.
Another idea is kind of what happened there is that the Americans kind of get infested into the woods, and they pop behind the woods, and they pop back. Now, the problem with this particular type of game is that when you move into the woods, you can't fire.
Right. Unless you're lights, but I don't see any lights on the American side. Right. Okay.
Yep. So getting into the forest is going to take some time.
Okay.
And again, trying to find those isolated units by themselves are going to be important. And it's pop forward and shoot, and then pop back.
I suspect I will have, for the first little bit here, I'm going to have the unit reference chart open so I can see exactly. But most everything moves at least 1, maybe 2, depending on if they're, let's say, the regular infantry is all 1, light infantry, which are the rifles, kind of like the old auxilia, so they can move 1 in battle or 2 and not battle. And let's see. The provincial...
Yeah, and if you think about the way the retreat flags work, that's going to be the toughest part of this game, is knowing that the militia are a -1 just being in the fight itself.
Right.
So every time there's a rally check, there's a list that you go down and you check, and if 2 units are together and or adjacent, it gives you a +1. If there's a leader, you get a +1. If you're a grenadier, you get a +1. A guard gets a +2. A Highlander +1, all that, but you don't have any of that.
Right.
So the unit is on the hill, you get a +1.
Okay.
So.
But that is only if a flag is scored against them and they are forced to retreat. Then they do the rally check with the number of blocks and plus and minus. Okay.
And as your unit gets weaker, it gets more and more difficult to pass those checks.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Especially with that -1 on the militia, you get them down to 1 block, and they are leaving the field more than likely.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely keep your leaders on the ends if you're doing like the McDowell group down at the bottom there.
Right.
He can definitely help you out as far as keeping support for those guys.
Okay. Well, I think probably the best thing to do is just sort of jump in and see how I can see how I
Yeah.
can do this.
Learn by fire.
Right, exactly. Baptism by fire. Then I believe I get the first move. Is that right? Yes.
Correct.
So I will get us going here then. And if this is so, I just drag it out and put it on the table, and you see it, and then we just go from there, right?
That's right. So
Okay.
the standard format for Vassal Play Online is you drag the card to the center, and then I'll move it to the discard deck to recognize that.
Okay.
And then you can start doing your orders. And then as far as battles go, you just declare your dice before you shoot, and I agree or disagree, and then you roll your dice if I disagree. That gives me a chance to play the attack first card. I can't remember what it's called. Ambush card.
Okay.
So.
And is it common in Tricorne to have leaders oftentimes just floating, like you said, floating around? They're just solo blocks by themselves. I see some are with militia, and Cleveland's by himself.
Yep.
Okay. So that's getting used to having them as movable objects like that. Okay.
It costs you orders to get those guys into place, and you will want them to be on the end of the line somewhere, wherever you decide that line will be.
Right. Gosh.
And it depends on the cards that you have too. So those two provincials at the bottom with Campbell, you might have an order 3, and you push those guys up together to join up with the other provincials and rifles. But if you do join up lines like that, you're giving the British time to react to you.
Right.
The advantage of the Americans in this scenario is that they are separated and able to attack from multiple angles quickly, right? So McDowell, you can move 2 militia up around that tree, one on the left side, one on the right side of that tree, and do a combined fire against the provincial. So if you start doing a formed line, I'll start doing a formed line from better terrain.
So I'm going to advance in the center. Okay. These 3. See that? I've got this militia up here, provincial at the top, and then militia down here with McDowell. So militia will go into the woods down there, provincial there, and militia there. Okay. And I believe I've got range combat now, and then battle effects of move on to. I think is that. It can battle, but at a -1.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So, but with some of these ranges, it's probably not super duper helpful. But let's see. With the provincial there, he would get a 2 hexes away. He would get a 2 -1 because he moved in. So if I did the attacker, and this provincial up here is the target marker, then I would at least get a die roll, right? So let's do 1 die and see what we get. We get a cavalry, which is a miss. Okay. This one down here. Take a shot at your provincial for McDowell. Does he get a bonus because the leader is with him?
Not for. Oh, actually, just for firing. Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. Leader casualty checks.
So ranged combat modifier +1 die for full strength infantry, +1 die for leader attached. Right? So I could throw 3 dice at that provincial. And see what we can score. Here we go. 2 sabers, which
No hits.
no hits on that. Okay. And then the militia not in the woods is, and then this militia one I think I did right because he's a distance of 2 is 1 plus leader plus full strength. So I think I should have only done 3. So if you want to ignore that third most or the last one over. Take the first 3.
Okay.
And when you retreat to the camp, and then if you're already on the camp and you...
Okay.
I think I'm done.
Okey-dokey.
I think I'm done. So, what is the easiest way to reset everything? Hit clear. Ah, there we go. Okay.
The clear button, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, it's yours. Oh, and drawing a card back. Okay, I'm good.
All right, advance center 3.
All right. And I realized the error that I made. Because you're on the hill, you could ignore one of those flags, so you actually do get that second block back. For your provincial, yeah. I think the paster was in your right and not your center.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I like you're paying attention.
Oh, well, you know. Leaders are important.
They are. Very.
So we'll start with attacking the militia here. And you know what? I had a flag rolled against me, and I went backwards, and I did not do my militia check on that 3.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll walk through the chart real quick here.
Sure.
All right, so he's at a 3 block. He is not at full strength. He does not have an attached leader. Infantry, artillery, retreating from cavalry. Nope, no cavalry. So just straight up 3 dice, and I need to get a flag or he dies.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say they're okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're looking at the provincials here. The range for attack is 1 dice at the current range, right?
I think it's
Nope.
2. I think it's 2-2-1, right, for provincials? Yeah, it's a 2 for melee, 2 for your distance 1. Or 2, rather.
Yep. That's just a straight up, is in no terrain. So 2 dice to you.
But you're at full strength, so you get 1 more.
Oh yeah, 3. Oh.
Did you roll 3 flags? Okay. Well,
that's twice in a row. Look at that, 6 flags.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm supported by 2 units, so that's 1 I can ignore. I've got a leader, so that's a second one I can ignore. But the third one I gotta take, and militia are a 3, so he'll go 1, 2, hit. All right, and now I do a rally check because he's at 3, but he's got a leader, so that's 4 dice that I get to rally, and I need a flag, otherwise he'd go by. So here's 4 dice, and he's okay, so they rally.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, second attack. This light will be coming at your provincials, and they are in the woods, right?
Yes.
So, lights. Same thing, 2-2-1, so that is a 2. You're in the woods, shooting into the wood. The target ignores 1 unit symbol from range combat.
Okay.
All right, so that's 2 dice.
Okay.
And neither one are hits, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And then my last attack will be 2 dice again, I believe. Provincials 2.
3, because you're... Oh, no, he's not full strength, right, so just 2. Right. So, I cannot ignore... The forest doesn't allow me... light. He's not light, so I can't ignore the flag. So
Target ignores, in trees, in forest, target ignores one unit symbol from ranged combat. So there is no unit symbol. Okay. It is a flag, so yes.
So provincials go back 2, 1, 2, and now he gets 4 dice for the rally check. And +1 because
he's got 2 units around him too, so that gives you a +1.
Okay. So he's still bolstered. So 4, 5, and does he get one for, let's see, rally check, full strength. So I get 1 for being full strength.
6 dice.
All right, 6 dice. I rolled a flag. 1 flag.
Wow.
Yes, that would have been very ugly. Okay. Starting to get it.
All right, so it's the end of my turn, and I will draw 2 cards.
Oh, but there is a -1 for provincial or militia, so I did miss that one. So it would have come back down to a 5. In which case we would ignore the saber there on the far end. Okay.
It's your turn.
Okay. I need to return the card that I drew last time because I accidentally grabbed a combat card, so I'm going to put that back in there and shuffle and draw my correct combat card when I just looked at it. Okay.
My south is weak.
Put assault the center. For each command card that I have, including this one, so that's 6, I can issue 1 order to units and or leaders in the center. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll order them. So the militia will go back in the woods. Cleveland will join them in the woods. The provincials will go there, and those militias will go there. And then McDowell will just fire from where he is. And I will start with them. So ranged combat, from there to there, targeting your provincials. So it is a distance of 2, so that's a 1. And then they get the +1 for being full strength, +1 for a leader. And that's it, I think. So 3 dice coming at you. 2 hits. Then this militia here will fire on your weakened provincials. And they moved, and they moved into the woods, so I think these are cumulative, I would assume. So it's -1 because he moved, -1 for going into the woods, but then plus
1 for full strength and +1 for the leader.
Right, and you always get a minimum of 1 die for anything, right? So I think I just throw 1 die at him. So here's 1 die. That's a nothing. All right, provincials. I don't think 2, 2, 1. No, they do have a range. They can actually. They can get to that same target. They moved, so it's just -1 die. But they're full strength, so that offsets. So I think it's just 1 for them as well. That's a hit. And I think they can get there with, let's see, 2, 1, 1. So 1 die for the leader, but they moved, so it's 1. So I think it's just 1 die for them as well. 1 die to the provincials. Nope, nothing. And that is all for my turn. It's a little mathy right now because I'm still getting used to the modifiers, but I like it. I really like some of the cohesion aspect of it.
Big Daddy card. So this is a British command card that I'm playing instead of a command card.
Okay, so your whole line basically is like a line command.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the provincial is at a range of 2. Just 2 dice. And you are in the woods.
+1 because you're full strength. Wow. Okay. Gosh. Well, I can ignore one of them. This is going to be bad. So they go 1, 2, and they can't go back again, so they lose 1 unit. Take a hit. All right.
Wow.
Now we have to do a rally check. Or do I do that before? So I take all. I mean, they're just gone, or
Well, pretty much, yeah. So you have to take 3 retreats for each.
right, right. So I can ignore 1, so I would still need to take 3 more. So that would still be hit, hit, hit. Okay. You just put it on the one of yours there. Okay. Now McDowell has to do a leader check. And I should have been doing. Yes, I have to do a leader check.
Sabers.
So now he can fall back to the militia. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. I forgot that they ran first, and he's sitting there trying to say, "No, come back, my brave men." All right. Well, that was fun. Okay. And you have more shooting to do, I presume?
I do. Oh, let's see. The provincial. I believe is a 1 to here.
Okay.
Just a straight up 1, so 1 die. That's the hit.
You also have a leader with you, though, so that's another die.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just 1 hit. All right.
All right, so 2, full strength, 3, and you get to ignore an infantry symbol if I roll it. So 3 dice coming at you.
Okay. Okay, so I get to ignore that one. Cool.
Yep. All right, lights. Same thing, 2. Full strength, 3 dice.
Okay. Right. So I am. I've got a leader, so I don't have to accept the flag. I ignore one of the infantry, and I take the other one. Okay.
Yep. Provincials. 2. That's it. Nothing.
Okay.
I'll shake the provincials in the open with 1 die, or 2 dice because of the full strength.
Right. Okay. So we have a retreat. I cannot ignore it, so they have to go back 1 and 2. Take a hit. Now a rally check is going to be 3 dice. And -1 because they're provincial, so it comes down to 2 dice. I need a banner on 2 dice. This is gonna go poorly. I feel it. I feel it. Here we go. Hey, all right.
There you go.
They rally. My brave provincials.
And I believe that's it for me.
Okay. So pretty good.
Drawing 2 cards.
It's a shame this model doesn't have sound effects like the ancient model.
Oh, with the marching? Yeah.
And the dice rolling.
Oh, that's true.
It's the simple pleasures that give me joy.
I think I'm gonna try to probe the center.
Sounds painful.
And
So, when do you play the combat cards?
well, it's funny you should ask that question because I'm about to play one.
Right.
So
Anytime you like.
anytime that you meet the criteria, so I'm going to activate these two right here. And I am going to... I'm going to move these up first. And then I'm going to play the infantry ranged bonus. Ordered infantry unit will engage in ranged combat with 2 additional dice when they do not move. So my militia with Cleveland will get a little bit of a bonus there.
Oh.
That rocks.
And then also, don't forget, the card that you played says at the bottom, at the end of the turn, draw a combat
Right.
card. So
Exactly, which is why I chose to play a combat card with this to replenish. So let's start with the provincials against your provincials. And they're going to get now 2 dice for range, plus 1 more because they're full strength. So 3 dice coming at you.
Yep.
And I got a hit and a retreat, which they can ignore because they're supported.
Okay.
Then
I will ignore it.
this militia will attempt to finish off those provincials. So they get 2 base, plus 1 for Cleveland, plus 2 more because they did not move. So 5 dice at that same target.
Do militia get 1 dice at that range?
You're correct. Yes. So 1. Sorry. Yes. I should
The
not
leader.
use them interchangeably because
Two.
so 1, plus 1 for the leader, plus 2 more. So 4 dice. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. And I wipe out those provincials.
I think he's dead, Jim.
Okay. And I will grab my replacement combat card and my replacement command card, and that is all.
All right, I'm going to play this tactical card. And
Okay.
this one.
All right.
All right. Provincial. Attacking your provincial with a dice of 2 initially, plus 1, which is 3.
That sounds good. Right.
1 flag.
And because I have a leader by himself, he allows that's support for every surrounding friendly, if I read that correctly. Just kind of pointing his saber saying, no, don't run away.
All right. So Ferguson is shooting at the same guy.
Okay.
He's going to start at a 1, plus 1, plus 1. So it's a 3 against your provincial.
All right.
Oof.
Same
Your
again.
horses are dead. The same sad story. I'm at my max of 5 cards now.
Okay.
And I will draw my combat card, my additional combat card.
We're going to
Oh
do
boy,
a forward card.
that's a fun one.
Yes. Okay. activate all 6 of those. And
Fired our guns and the British kept coming.
All right. So, let's see. Shelby and his groups over here don't have any targets anyway, so they're not going to be firing. Cleveland and the provincials in the center will fire. They did not move. And then the militia that went in the woods on my left will also get a shot. So let's do them first. They're going to go there. And I believe it's a -1 for entering the woods, -1 for moving, so that's -2. And then they're at a 1 distance there for that provincial, so -1. But they're full strength, so I think it's a 0, but you always get 1 die, if I understand that correctly. So no matter what, here's 1 die. It's a flag, which you're on a hill, I believe you can ignore. Okay, so let's do these provincials against your light. They are a distance, they get 2, +1 for being full strength is 3. 3 dice.
Okay.
3 flags.
Woo! That was from the provincial, right?
Yes.
3 flags. The provincials retreat 1.
So you get to ignore 1 because you're on a hill. For the light. Oh no, not that one. It's the light unit there. So my provincial straddling. That was he was coming after your light.
You're rolling flags like me.
Yeah. It's that wonderful dice roller we've come to know and love.
Okay, so 1, 2.
Yep, that's it. Okay, and then this militia will fire on this provincial. So it's 1 for distance and 1 for Cleveland, and I think that's it. So just 2 dice coming at that provincial, and it's a nothing. And then that's it. Okay. Drawing back my card. It is yours.
All right, we're going to do a probe right and add an infantry ranged bonus.
Okay.
All right, provincial, starting with a 2, +1, 3. That's it.
Okay.
Flag saver. So
All right.
2 flags against you. No leaders, no support.
So cannot ignore anything. So it's 1, 2, take a hit, and then another 3. So they are essentially eliminated. So hit. And that's a second banner for you. Flushed out of the woods.
And it is your turn. Oh, I gotta draw my card.
Do at the quick step. So I can do, so we are going to try, we're going to try something bold and daring, as Peter would say. Alright, so we'll activate these 3. Provincials will take the hill, militia will take the hill, this militia will come to there. So no ranged combat, which is fine because we're pulling out the bayonets. And I guess technically, when do we? I guess we'll at the end we'll assign whatever temporary manners I get for the hills, if anything survives. Okay, we'll go with this one first. We'll go against the lights there in the camp. They're gonna get 2 for close combat plus 1 for full strength, so 3 dice. Here we go.
Okay. Oof. So we are unsupported. 1 infantry.
And you are already in the camp, so nowhere to retreat. Okay. And I believe, so this is the first time we get to see how the take ground works. I believe I can take the spot.
Okay.
Hold the camp.
Now, if you stay where you are, you would get a victory point for the right
each
side.
Yes.
If you wanted, but you got to hold it too.
You've got to hold it. Yes. At the start of my next turn, I will get the hill bonuses. Got it. Or just the one-time bonus. All right. So we'll do the militia here against your provincial. And it is going to be 2 dice plus 1 for a leader. So 3 dice. Here we go. 2 hits.
All right. 2 against your militia.
Okay. And it has a leader.
Leaders, you can ignore it.
All right. And then make sure I'm getting the terrain rules right here for battling between. Let's see. Nothing. Okay. All right. So no effect on that. So attack from a lower level. Ignore 1. Okay. So you'll get to ignore a flag on this one from the lower attacker. Should I roll that? He is 2 dice plus 1. Let's see if I want to throw in a combat card. Do not. So just 3 dice then. It's like a hit. And a flag which you can ignore.
Wow. Okay. Battle back with 2.
Okay. Take a hit and ignore the flag. Right. I believe that is everything. Okay. Back to you. Bringing Ferguson into the rescue.
I guess my provincials are not regulars.
No, you can even see it has the blue band there at the bottom.
Yeah.
So just Ferguson looks like.
Okay. Everybody in the right's attacking. All right, 2, 3 for full strength against your provincials.
Oh, interesting. Well, that will not do at all. So I think we'll have to play that. Hold the line, men. He's adjacent to a unit with the flag or the leader. So, ignoring all flags.
Wow. That's stinky poos. Okay.
Alright, so we'll battle back with 2 dice. 3 dice, because they're full strength.
Yep.
And,
Okay. So
They are in camp,
cavalry,
so,
2
yeah.
flags, and he is in trouble.
you can ignore one, because... Actually, you can ignore them both, because you got a leader and you're supported.
I don't see how I'm supported.
You're touching 2 of your other units.
Wait a minute. This is the guy who was attacking.
Oh! My mistake. Sorry.
I just moved it before you did the battle.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, he doesn't have a leader, and he can't ignore the flag, so that's provincial. He goes back 1.
I believe they go back 2.
Damn.
They go 2, yeah.
That's 4 hits. And you just won the game because you have 2 temporary objectives for holding 2 hills in 2 different sections.
I only have 1 hill right now in 1 section in the center. Because I moved out.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay. That yellow line is throwing me off on these.
Oh,
units.
yeah. Yeah, I wish they'd do the nice little drop shadow, which is handy in Ancients. And you
Oh, I need to do my
yeah, you still got 2 more.
target. All right, so 4, 5. That's your. I'm sorry, 2, 3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay,
Okay, 2 hits.
2 hits.
They will battle back now with just 2 dice. Get 1 hit.
We have not had flags when we thought we would get them. You know, the morale checks, we haven't really done that many.
Right.
All right, so the provincials will attack yours, and we would be a 3, 4. Nope, I'm sorry. 2, 3. Yep.
Okay.
Sabres infantry, 2 hits. Tis enough.
There you go. Take ground and attack again at your leisure.
All right. Get him off that hill. So 3.
Okay.
1 hit. Flag can be ignored.
We will battle back with
Bloody.
3.
Flag ignored.
Okay.
Recovery. I was lucky.
So I get a temporary banner. I don't know how we indicate that. Because I got the militia on the hill.
Just made one up.
Sure.
And I'm surprised there's not a victory objective for taking my camp.
Right. Yeah. I think part of it is just if I take them and you have nowhere to retreat to. That's
Yeah. Very true.
Well, I think we need to do this. So continue to probe the center. And see how the luck holds out here. Those 2. Start with this one here, targeting your provincials. And that will be 3 dice. 3 dice coming at you. And it wipes them out. He will take ground. Then this one will go after to Paster. So we'll just do 3 dice then against those provincials. And, 2 hits.
leader check.
It's one die, right?
Yep.
He
There
falls.
you go.
Right. That was very cool.
This was a fun game, but it was not the best example of this system and how the morale system works.
Well,
everything was so split apart. It worked well, but out of the Commands and Colors games, this was my least favorite scenario because it didn't really show the whole retreat and morale aspect like it usually does.
well, I mean, you certainly learned by the loss of the militia. I mean, a couple of militia just broke and ran very easily. So that has a lasting effect to show you the importance of battlefield cohesion.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the game. I guarantee you play it again and play another scenario, you will like it so much better. This is kind of a cool mechanic and a cool study of King's Mountain and stuff, but like the excitement of the game really comes in face-to-face line battle. I was really curious how this would compare to like the other game that I played. I was talking about earlier and stuff. I liked it. I played well. It was fun, but it shines even more in like line-based battle.
Okay. Yeah. Once you bring the cavalry and the artillery in, and with that opening carronade, that has very interesting ramifications.
Yeah.
For every scenario, each side just going, all right, I shoot you, boom, 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 and people have already run before the battle even began. So that's pretty neat. Pete, what do you think?
It's a little different, than obviously what I've used to. I mean, only having just learned the ancient systems, so a little bit more math involved, and not being able to see, the cards you guys have, the nice little tweaks of throwing the combat cards in there to modify what you're doing. It is a nice wrinkle.
Yeah. Well, I like that. I mean, this now, because of the ranged combat, and we're so used to, oh, you're not going to win this with missile combat, and now this is all. We just sat a couple hexes away from each other and peppered.
Big difference between throwing rocks and shooting muskets.
Oh yeah, right.
So I'm going to show you my cards that I had, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see some similarities to Ancients.
Oh yeah.
And the advantages of being in a line and doing things with. So the number of units that I had kind of limited me. I had some great line volley cards, but like, how do you get 6 guys in a line and protect that much area?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Another line volley, inspired leader right. So if I was able to get a bunch of guys here on the right and do a great maneuver there. So
now are these obviously tweaked for the strategy employed by the British versus the Continentals? Or are they about equal on the command card? Oh, the command cards, everybody's got the same. Yeah.
So these games in a face-to-face line battle, these cards in a face-to-face like line-based battle would have been incredible.
Yeah.
Like I could have activated so many units, I could have come in and done some major kills. But since everybody was so isolated, on the British running around and you too, like the line cards are very tough for you to get into effective position.
Yeah, here's what I had, which I didn't never seem like I was starved for anything. I had center, left, outflanked, and then I had another quick step which I was using, which are great for capturing the hills, as because I was ready to move Shelby up, and grab another one and just have that. So that was kind of my plan, was try to combat my way up to 3 flags, and then put my position in to grab 3 more temporary ones and hold them, and then potentially win. But I really like some of these individual combat cards, like this. They just help you in a clutch moment, like the rally check. I probably could have used that, but I never got a chance.
The one that canceled the flags on me was huge.
Oh yeah, that one, to hold the line. Yeah. I mean, that was just waiting for that moment, and I figured it in melee, the way you were rolling flags, that was a good one to do. But yeah, I really like the system. I think my favorite thing about it is the the rally and retreat. Now we didn't see the quote evasion capability like we have in Ancients because there are no light units out there. They can do it ahead of time, but there's also danger in that because they do the 2 and they still have to do a rally roll, and if they fail, then you've given away a banner right there.
Yeah.
So that's got some inherent risk to it, but I like that until it fails on me, and then I'm going to be all ticked off at it.
Yep.
But, I thank you for going over this and doing this scenario.
No problem at all.
Yeah, I thought this one was like Napoleonics in that your battle strength ahead was based on the number of blocks, but in this one they actually switched it to your rally roll that's a factor on.
Yeah.
So I like that. I actually like that better because I think for the cohesion part that simulates it pretty well.
But I promise you, if you like this at all, you're gonna love the next scenario you play. It is absolutely amazing when you guys are running off the battlefield, and we didn't see that this much. They were usually destroyed just because I couldn't go anywhere, and you couldn't go far enough.
Right.
But like typically, your depth of field is going to be like 11 hexes.
Yeah.
Where we were kind of restricted to like 5. So I had like 2 or 3 as far as my depth of field being on the hill and kind of the position I'm in, and you're restricted down to 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So you get 2 flags and you're already taking hits and stuff.
Well, now I have to go look at the Compass website and see if if I'm ready to jump into the pool on this one. Maybe wait for a sale or something, but yeah,
it is a really good game. I like it a lot.
Yeah. But I've got the next 2 years marked off to go through Ancients, so I gotta finish one before I start another.
So, are you playing through the whole series?
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean,
that is the plan.
That is awesome.
We got we're 12 down. We got actually we're 13 down as of this week. So we got 2 more in the base set, and then we'll move on to Greeks and Eastern Kingdom. But yeah, each Thursday we do 2 games back to back, and I think just the way I've been timing them, and when I edit them down, each game is coming in right at 40 minutes because I think both of us we got the rhythm down. So and when it goes poorly quickly.
Hey, all of these games do. It's just like as soon as your units start dying. It's
just
different strategy.
Take all the banners. Just go.
Yeah.
But cool. Thanks, Charles. I look forward to we'll do another one of these here pretty soon, I think.
All right. Thanks so much. Take care, guys.
All right, you too.
Thanks for showing me watch.
No problem at all.
See ya.